I'm John McQuay with 8541 Tactical. I'm here today to kick off our Mega Arms MATEN build. For this series, we're going to utilize a Mega Arms MATEN monolithic receiver set, and we're going to show you step by step what you need to do to turn this stripped receiver set into a fully functioning semi-automatic 308 rifle. Now, we're going to do this a little bit differently than we've done previous build series before, in that we're going to break these up and each video is going to cover a specific component in a review format that we're installing on the system. So we will review the quality of the component itself, and we'll demonstrate to you how to install the component on the receiver or on the rifle system. Now, once we get done installing all the components, we'll then go out, we'll do a field test, and we'll report back to you on how each of the components that we used on the build actually performed in the field under real conditions. Now, one thing that I do have to mention, we've been planning this build for several months now, in fact since January, and it's taken that time to get all the components together from the various manufacturers. The first component that we locked on, of course, was the Mega Arms receiver set. Now, unfortunately, since we started this project and since we got the receiver set, Mega Arms has announced that they will no longer produce the Monolithic upper receiver. They will still produce matched MATEN receiver sets. So basically what you would get would be this section back here with a matched upper and lower receiver. You would have to then supply the handguard of your choice or the rail system of your choice to build the system up. So everything else we're going to cover is going to be the same for a receiver that you can build, or if you can get yourself one of the monolithic receivers that's still floating around, then you can follow along with us. It's only going to be slightly different as far as installing your own rail system, and because there is an enormous amount of rail systems out there, each rail system has a slightly different way of installing. Now, since there are still quite a few Mega MATEN monolithic upper receivers floating around out there, I'll go ahead and cover what you get with this kit here. You get the lower receiver that already has the takedown pins and the bolt release, and this is an ambidextrous version, so there's a bolt release on the right side and there's a bolt release on the left side, and those are already installed. They're installed using set screws instead of the regular spring steel roll pins that we usually see. Now, in addition to the receiver set, charging handle, pins, and bolt releases, you'll also get the Mega MATEN barrel nut, which is slightly different than a standard barrel nut, but if you've ever installed a barrel before, you'll see the similarities between these. It's just shaped slightly different to coincide with the handguard itself. However, very similar to a standard barrel nut. It uses 6 notches on the face of the nut, and that engages this rather interesting and extremely large tool that Mega supplies with the receiver set. Now, this tool is designed to be able to slip down through the handguard and engage the barrel nut securely so that you can tighten it down and torque it in. And this is a really beefy tool. There's not going to be any flex in this tool at all, so you don't have to worry about getting that nut tightened down correctly. The MATEN receiver set is extremely high quality. The machining on this thing is just phenomenal work. I can't see any machine marks really anywhere on it. The finish is a very consistent and silky smooth matte black finish. It's black anodized. They also have a silver hard coat anodized finish version. You can purchase that if you wish. I like the black because it gives you a real nice base if you're going to paint over for any other finishes, or if you're in a law enforcement capacity, it will fit in with the other weapon systems that law enforcement tends to use. The MATEN charging handle is included, and that's a really nice feature, so you don't have to buy an additional charging handle. And the system really inspires confidence. It's a beefy setup, and there is absolutely no play between the upper and lower receiver set. Now, there are a few slight differences on the MATEN receiver versus some of the other large frame AR receiver systems out there. First, I'll concentrate just on the back half of the upper receiver set. There is no forward assist. All there is a case deflector and a ejection port cover. There really isn't a need for a forward assist on these systems with the big, heavy bolt carrier groups. If you need to do a press check and you want to seat it, after you've done a press check, you can push that carrier forward with your fingers. On my AR-10, running it absolutely filthy dirty, I've yet to run into a situation where that bolt would not go back into battery when the case is properly sized. If for some reason you're hand loading and you like to push the edges of headspace, then you may end up having some issues with cases chambering, depending on what barrel you use. But I don't see the lack of a forward assist as any kind of problem whatsoever on this system. Now, when we switch over to the lower receiver, a couple of nice features is the integral trigger guard here. You don't have to try to mount a standard AR-15 trigger guard in. It's bowed out, so if you shoot with gloved hands, you've got nice room there to get an insulated gloved finger inside the trigger guard. The bolt stop and the ambidextrous bolt release are already installed, so that's one thing you don't have to worry about. They're fairly beefy looking pieces. I don't think we're going to have any problems with them at all. One of the nice things about having them pre-installed is you don't have to worry about scratching up the receiver trying to get that punch down at the right angle and hammer in the roll pin that holds in the bolt stop on a standard AR. Also, everywhere that you would normally use a spring pin on a standard AR, Mega has used these regular set screws that are actually threaded into the receiver. This is nice because it means if you need to get these out to do a replacement on these parts, you're not trying to bang around and drive the pins out. All you have to do is stick an Allen key in it and back it out. It's also nice because Allen screws are heat treated, whereas roll pins are just simply spring steel. They are, obviously, since they're spring steel, they have a heat treat to them, but you're going to find that these set screws are quite a bit harder than the steel used on the spring pins, and I think they're going to be quite a bit more durable. It also appears that this is going to be easier if for some reason you get a whole bunch of gunk packed in behind any of these controls, that you'll be able to just use an Allen screw, remove them, clean them out, and then put them back on without any serious problems. As I said, your takedown pins are already pre-installed, which is a very nice thing. And one of the final little nice additions that Mega has put on this is down here there is a little rubber tipped set screw that will bear against the takedown pin lug on the upper receiver. So if the system loosens up from wear over time, you can tighten that pin down and you can get your nice consistent upper to lower fit back. The threads for the receiver extension are cut very cleanly. The receiver extension area on the receiver is really beefy. It's nicely built up. And all the roll marks are extremely clean and extremely neat on this. The fire control components and the magazine release are standard AR-15 parts. So not only are they readily available in the aftermarket, if you support any AR-15 systems, then replacement parts are readily available. The selector also is a standard AR-15 part. If you're looking for a receiver set to build up a large frame AR to utilize your 308, 260, 6.5 Creedmoor, 243 Winchester, or any of the 308 parent cartridges, take a look at the Mega MATEN receiver sets. They are extremely high quality. I think they will do very well for you. And make sure you follow along with the rest of the videos that we're going to do here, assembling this receiver set into a full-blown rifle. Now, if you want to know what components that we're using for the rest of the rifle, you're just going to have to tune in and watch the next couple of videos. The next video that we're going to do will be installing the fire control components in this. So if you want to see what kind of trigger we chose and why, make sure you tune into the next video. If you've liked this video, please make sure you click that subscribe button. If you dislike the video, please leave a comment in the comment section and tell us why. You can leave comments for us in the comment section below or on Facebook or Twitter. We do monitor all the comments, so if you got something to say, please let us know. And until next time, get out and shoot!